Welcome to Split the Defense.
Split the Defense.
Leafs Postgame Edition. Split the Defense is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas. Alongside co-host Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans, here's your host, Jordan Webster.
All right. Leafs versus Flyers. 4 days off. Nice and rested Leafs. Wasted no time getting this one started. Getting the Flyers within getting a goal from the Flyers within 2 minutes of the game. CP. What a good start. What a good start for the Leafs. They never looked back, dominating 5-2, in their 8th consecutive win against Philadelphia Flyers. The Leafs are now 27-6 on the season, on the road.
Yeah.
On the road.
6-2, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, 6-2, yeah. 27-6 on the road, CP, on the road. They're 9 back of Boston with 3 games in hand. We're here on Split the Defense, Leafs Postgame. Thumbs up this episode, subscribe to our YouTube, rate us 5 stars on whatever podcasting platform you're consuming from, if you're listening on the show after, and leave us a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. So, of course, boys, my fantasy lineup tonight, I have Urson in 3 goals on 9 shots, or 12 shots. Terrible. I can't do numbers tonight, boys. Can't do numbers. Anyways, Matthews on the bench for me. It gets 1 goal, 1 assist. So, great night for fantasy for me. Scrappy game. Even the coaches are getting into it at the end of the game there, right? Holy, what a fiery game. We had goals, Bertuzzi, Holmberg, Liljegren, Matthews gets 55, Nylander 35, Nyes gets a goal. Who's your first star, CP? What do we take away from this one?
I'm giving my first star to Bertuzzi, I think again. And I'm not sure if it's 2 in a row, but Bertuzzi, I think. I just love the way he's playing recently. He should have had 2. I know the one was a hand pass, but nothing he did was wrong. I mean, the goal that got pulled back, I think was one of the nicest tips I've seen in a while. Just basically a baseball bat swings it, and yeah, beautiful. Good to see Matthews going too. That was what I was looking for the most going into this game is Matthews kind of off his sick week and kind of back to the Matthews that we know, and kind of had to control his own line tonight. I mean, with the help of Bertuzzi, which hasn't worked in the past, but tonight it definitely did. So weird lineup tonight too, especially with losing a couple for injuries, and yeah, what a game.
Yeah, so it wasn't close, not close at all.
No.
Obviously 6-2. After the first period, shots on goal were close, but Toronto had an 8-1 in the high danger chances. When I checked, it was 15 minutes left in the third. I'm sure it got worse. It was 18-2 for the Leafs for high danger chances. 18-2. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah. So the Flyers get booed off the ice. That makes sense. And Nyes gets a beauty of a goal, tap it in, like you said. I like Bertuzzi as the first star tonight. He should have had that one back. Matthews touching it, that is, I get it. I understand the rule, and it worked for the Leafs once this year.
Yeah.
It's still dumb. I don't like it. It's that was the stupidest thing. It had absolutely nothing to do with the goal. They still had to battle for the puck after that before anybody got it. So I don't know. I just think that was silly, but it is what it is. It gets called back.
I think
Bertuzzi.
I think it should be called back either way. It's just, should there be a time limit versus it exiting the zone? Because it's definitely, I don't want you to be able to hand pass it. That's just
no. And I get it, and I understand the theory of the rule, but that was dumb. He barely touched it. They still had to battle for it to get the puck. It's not like he passed it to a guy with his hand who passed it to another guy who put it in the net or did an assist directly with his hand. He didn't. He barely nicked the puck, and then it went up against the boards with 2 other guys. It got dug out and then passed around and went in the net, 15 seconds later. So dumb. So dumb. I thought it was stupid. How is Philly in a playoff spot?
I know, that's kind of awful. They might not be by the end of the season. They were talking about the Islanders might catch them. But yeah, when I saw that in a playoff spot with 74 points or something currently, yeah, that's something. But I guess that's why you want to come first, so that you can play someone like that in that
Yeah,
division.
in the first round, so that way you
Yeah.
can almost guarantee yourself a first round ticket out. But you just know if the Leafs played a shit team like that in the first round, they'd be punching themselves out in 5 or something stupid.
Oh God.
But Philly, yeah, I don't know how they're in a playoff spot, how they've gotten this far with the goaltending they have. Like, that's Sandstrom. I know he came in cold tonight. He probably hasn't been playing a whole ton of games, but like Urson, he's been okay. Like, I have him on my fantasy team, but he's not good. He's I wouldn't say he's great. And then you have Sandstrom in the back there, and he's not good at all. He was swimming all over the place. I don't think I've ever in my whole entire life seen a team with most of the team without sticks on the ice. Everybody doesn't have sticks, and the other team does. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Have you?
Yeah, no. I mean, back to the goalie. Like, they were missing their starting goalie, who is no longer part of the team, Carter Hart. So that's tough when you lose your starter mid-season. You know, like, you're never going to be in a great spot goaltender-wise, unless you're like someone like Boston who has 2 starters. But
I mean, like, did Philly not have the fucking foresight to see this? Like, they knew this shit was going on. They weren't completely clueless that this shit was going down. They knew. They couldn't have had a better backup plan than Urson and fucking Sandstrom, and especially with this playoff team. I don't know, these goalies look rough. Some of these, the whole team looked rough tonight. Like, Philly, it looked like that Tampa game the other night. Like, I swear to God, if John Tortorella was still there tonight, he would have got thrown out again. Like, he was that was so bad. I was thinking at 3-0. Like, this looks eerily close to the highlights I watched when John Tortorella got thrown out the other night. Like, they were playing like shit.
They're not a great team. I mean, there's just such a lack of star power there. It's like they probably do have like a great committee of players. They're just missing like the top end talent. And so like, and that's always the hardest to get, right? Like, everyone like in Toronto complains about these star players we have, but like, you know, someone like Philly would just die to have someone like Mitch Marner or William Nylander. Like, they just, like, Travis Konechny to me is the closest thing to that. And he's just that tier down. Like, I would love to have him on my team. Like, don't get me wrong, I think he's a great player, and like Owen Tippett as well.
Undoubtedly the 4th best and maybe the 5th best at times player on the team.
Yeah, well, like, I don't know, the days of like Sean Couturier are just over. You know, he's had too many health problems to be what he could be. And I just they're lacking the next generation of talent coming through. You know.
Yeah, they gave him the captaincy though, so I mean he still is doing his thing.
He deserved that. He just doesn't deserve it based on his play. You know, he deserves it based on his history and, you know, his leadership. And I love when like teams give their captain to guys like that. Like when Winnipeg gave the captaincy to Adam Lowry, I thought that was amazing because, you know, not necessarily a guy that's like the best player on your team, but someone who leads by example. So no, like, not docking Couturier or anything. Just they're just missing like the high end guys.
The Flyers' power play is missing high-end guys. They are at 12.9% this season, but I will mention that they've gotten goals in both Leafs games that they've played this year.
Nice.
The Leafs' PK is at 77.4%, and they give up a shorty on the power play tonight. So speaking about special teams,
that doesn't count.
Can you read into that shorty? No, it doesn't count.
Well, like, first of all, like, they got guilted into putting
on the power play.
Yeah, they got guilted into putting in the like the 4th line out there, and then it's such a clear penalty on Liljegren. Like, Konechny had to pull his stick out of Liljegren's skate. And somehow it's not a tripping penalty. So I just feel like, I don't know, there's many reasons that doesn't count as a goal. Like, to me, it was 6-1 tonight was the score. Because, I don't know, the coach complaining too, like, grow up, bud. This is the NHL, and you're complaining that there's, like, really good players on the ice. Like, play better. Like, have a better PK, have a better team, like, better structure. You know, like, take pride in having a good PK.
I thought so
like,
too. Why did he cave in and put the other guys in? Like, he got peer pressured into doing it. Like, I think that's shitty. That's not what happened, right? I think he put Ryan Reeves out there to shut him up and potentially cause some shit, and it didn't work out that way.
No, I mean, it backfired definitely on Keefe's end. Like, he should have just kept them out there. He should have kept them out there for 2 minutes after they complained about it. So. But I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Just fucking put the beaters right to them, right? Right.
I don't care about their feelings. Like, they're Philly. Like, they should be tough. It's supposed to be a tough city, you know, and that just felt kind of
another
soft.
thing. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be a tough city, and then you see the whining and complaining that gets done there. Yeah, and they're not really the tough team that you expect Philly to be, eh?
Yeah, no.
So
well, like, where's DeLorean? You know, like, or Delorier.
yeah,
Like,
I don't know. Where is he?
no, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't see him. I didn't pay much attention. Was he there? I don't know.
No,
didn't
he
do
wasn't
fucking
there.
anything tonight. If he did anything tonight, he didn't do shit all.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about Samsonov. Ilya Samsonov has the second best win percentage in the league.
I saw that. Oh my god.
Like what? He starts in back-to-back games now. So like is that because of the 4 days off? Like is that just giving Joel Wool a little bit extra rest, maybe a little bit more work while he's fully healthy? I don't know. You'd think you'd want to get Wool in the first games, get him as many games if you had more faith in Wool. I think like Sammy got an apple tonight, man. He's contributing. Like this guy's he's on a pace, man. Like you see that? Like, he's finishing with points now, not just save percentages, points, baby.
I want to see that production in the playoffs too. Like.
Yeah, we need to see that production in the playoffs. But you know, Samsonov, aside from the apple, which is very cool, he's playing well. Do you think that the coaching staff, the management, the team is agreeing with that, and that him starting tonight after his last start says anything, or no?
No. I think that it was about getting Wall Saturday's game. You know, it's like playing Carolina, right?
That makes sense.
One of the best teams in the league. I think no one doubts that. And they're such a consistent team. Like, you're not going to get a soft night from them. So, and the team that's geared up, right? So I think that, yeah, you want to get what you think is your playoff guy.
Geared up? What do you mean? Are they on drugs?
No, just like they've added to this team for the first time ever, it feels like. You know, like they've never like made a trade, I feel like, that was anything substantial. And, you know, they've actually put up a guy on this team that's like a substantial like difference maker for them in Getzel, obviously. Is who I'm talking about.
Potentially too, because Kuznetsov was a hell of a player.
He scored.
Yeah.
He just scored tonight, right? Like, I don't know. That's a wild card game. Like, I wouldn't have wanted the Leafs to take that shot, but seeing another team doing it, I think is great. I mean, as long as he can, you know, hopefully he's not drugged up. But I think that
he should have all the canes he needs now.
yeah, that's right. But yeah, what were we
Shouldn't
talking
have made
about?
that
Oh yeah, Wall playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's why it was. And like, I think that Sammy's kind of plateaued here, where he is playing kind of at his best hockey. It's how we've seen him play before and be one of the best goalies in the league. But I just feel like there's this asterisk because of the way he still plays and how we've seen him at long stretches not play great in this same style. But it's working, and so you feel comfortable going with him. But I think he's plateaued in what you get from him, and if Wall puts it together at all, then like he's still the guy. I think like that's what I hear from every insider that has an ear with the Leafs. Like they just like it has to do with the future of this team too, where you want the guy that's going to be here for longer to be the guy if he can be. And everyone's been more comfortable in the coaching staff with how he's like been receptive, to like learning and taking in information. Samsonov, not the case. He likes his style. He doesn't want to change. Like, doesn't matter what goalie coach is in here. He doesn't want to change. He is who he is. So I think there's a lot of reasons.
He did make changes. I think he made changes when he came to Toronto. Because I remember all the talk with, I believe it was Curtis Sanford when it was Matt Murray, Ilya Samsonov, and then he still plays in that style where he just gets really low and wide. He doesn't really do much else besides that. He just if you just get really low and wide, and that's what the Matt Murray thing, that was what that goalie coach preached. But you're right. Samsonov has still kept his scrambly, a more athletic type Dominic Hasek without the success type style.
Yeah, every goalie coach, like all the coaching staff, liked Matt Murray better than Samsonov because he was more like receptive to the teaching. It's not that Sammy's gonna like not listen to anything, and he's like like sour in the locker room or anything, but he just isn't like he's gonna nod his head and say yep and practice things. But like when it comes down to it, he's never gonna be as calm of a goalie that the Leafs want, and that's just how it is. I like Sammy, and like I love when he plays this way, and like I love that even though he might put himself in a bad situation to look good in like the next second because he's diving across the net. It's fun to watch. It's just like when it comes to the first game, I'm not sure that's what I want.
But you can't deny the success that he's had.
No,
I mean,
no.
I'm talking all season. Best win percentage.
No. Yes, but he hasn't been a good goalie
Best
all
win
season.
No, but that doesn't matter. He's been so good in those stretches that he's still got the best win percentage
If
of
he
the
can
season.
go
Second
3 or
best of the
4
season.
games,
Which, you know who's above him? Bobrovsky. Like, okay, that's
yeah, that's
crazy.
kinda-
I thought he was gone. He's back. Bobrovsky's back.
he's been
But,
back for a couple of years, but
yeah, well, kind of, maybe. In and out,
yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Not like
But
anyway.
Samsonov is, you can't deny that Samsonov has had success in the last, 2-3 weeks. Even with the team struggling, Samsonov's always kind of looked good. And it's hard to deny that. But you're right, they are grooming
He's
Woll
looked
to take
awful.
that top spot.
This is
I
a guy
think,
that wasn't even on the team for a while, right? And like if you
Oh,
can
in
go that
stretches.
long,
I mean, in the last couple of weeks, you can't deny. Like we've been talking about it
yeah.
now for 3 or 4 or 5 shows. Like, I mean, games after game, Samsonov's been the guy, and that he's been playing these games. He's been good. So like, it really makes you question if Joe Woll stumbles at all. Like, was that a move to give Samsonov more games? Because at the end of the day, that's you play him first, he's going to play more potentially. But we'll have to see how all that shakes out. If Joe Woll gets any of those, back-to-back starts, because it's not going to be super intense schedule going for the rest of the season for the Leafs, thankfully, for us as well. Holy smokes, it's been crazy. Good long grind 82 for our first split the defense here. Holy,
yeah, who had the idea
so
to
many
do a post-game
games, right?
show? Whoever that guy, who had the idea to have a post-game show? Whoever that guy was, gotta get rid of him.
Jeez. Anyways, so how do you feel about Bertuzzi fitting in with Matthews? Do you think they should end up playing him there more? Do you think the Bertuzzi-Matthews-Nylander line has any stick to it, or that's just a placeholder till Nylander or till Marner gets back? And if so, what the fuck are they doing with the rest of the lines? Because it seems like we're not getting ready for the playoffs.
To me, I feel like we are getting ready for the playoffs, and it's about.
So what lines do you see going into the playoffs?
Well, I think that you see quite a few lines, and it kind of gets me excited. I know I hate that Marner's out, but it forces Keefe to try this that he's just refused to do forever, and is to do the Crosby thing where you put just 2 guys who can work really hard and just have a brain, know how to put the puck in the net if it comes to it, make a play, and make that a line that where the other team goes to match up with you, it's like, okay, what do we do? Because like Marner's technically on the 3rd line now because Matthews is on 1 line and John Tavares and William Nylander are on the 2nd line. Marner's just on, like, what do we do? How do you game plan that? And like, I would love to see a scenario where Marner's kind of bouncing around and he is on a 3rd line and I guess gets thrown up onto the 1st line here and there. He's going to obviously be on the power play. And I just think that it actually is weird because it comes down to me on personality. And I think that Marner would be more willing to do that than, William Nylander. And I would also trust him more. And so the thing is he'll play with David Kampf maybe some, and it's like a shutdown line, But I think that you have to make Matthews learn how to play by himself. And if it comes down to it and you go in game 1 and Marner's on the right wing of Matthews, that's fine as long as like in the 2nd period sometime you can throw something weird at them that isn't just trying it for the first time and isn't just loading up and putting Tavares on the top line with them. I think that seeing something different, I loved it. Especially Yarncroke to me is a great fit there because he can do basically everything. And Holmberg actually played really well, but I'm not kind of looking past that it was against Philly tonight, who just looked horrible. So, but yeah, I think that I like kind of seeing these different things. It doesn't feel like just Keefe mashing whatever together anymore. And I think that it's a little bit. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I probably maybe see it different than you do. So, but I just think that it's kind of gearing up, and we just have seen the other lines so much that we can go back to them, and once Marner's back. But I'm talking about when will Marner be back, I think should be another discussion we should have in a second. But yeah, I think that it's just one of those things where we need to kind of see it. And I've been praying for Matthews to drive a line forever. What do we got here?
We got Michael over here in the comments. He says, who's going to teach Matt Murray how to stop a puck? If he can't do it, he got old. You are not going to teach Matt Murray. Goes to play a goalie. I don't care if you're an effing coach. He could be a coach. I don't know what that means, but
yeah.
Matt Murray is hurt.
He's not coming back
very
either.
Hurt. He's only 29. He'll be back.
He's not coming back to the
He's
Leafs
not done
this year.
forever.
No,
he's not Robidas Island gone. But like, you know, Matt Murray, he's hurt and he's gone for this season. Thing is, they might just be like, you know what, that's the secret card we got in our back pocket, so it's fine because next year we'll have Joe Wool and Matt Murray, who might actually be good again. Fuck, that would be terrible. But who knows? That may be the case with Matt Murray.
Hey, if Matt Murray comes back next year on a really minimum deal, you know, maybe like 1.5 to be a backup goalie, like I don't care because like
is this
the
the
variable
last year of his deal?
Yeah.
Okay,
the variable
so
amount on his
and
contract.
we helped him get healthy, and I can see this.
Yeah. And then like, bud, you want a job as a coach, like, or an analyst, like TSN, Sportsnet? You know, stick around, bud.
Yeah.
We got stuff for you.
I mean, you want to be player development, management, we'll hook you up.
But you could also send him to the minors if it comes to it. You know, like I feel like.
But I mean, he's also only 29. Like I think he's younger than us, bud. Like he's straight up.
Fuck.
So I mean, like like he's fine. Like, or he's like our age. Like I'm pretty sure he's born 93. But anyways, so the point is that he's not done. He could get healthy and he could play again. And you know, maybe because the Leafs have all that good grace from paying him and helping him with the health and getting him back into game shape, maybe he signs a contract and comes back. But Matt Murray is not playing for this team anytime soon. Definitely not this season.
No.
So Yarncroke. They said they don't want to play doctor on TSN. I'm gonna play doctor. I think he broke his collarbone.
Rough. Yeah. I kind of had the same kind of thought. The way he held his shoulder, the way he went into the. I mean, I think broken collarbone would be best case scenario because like you don't go in the boards head first, shoulder first that can be serious. Those are the scariest plays in hockey by far. And so I was just, if he broke his collarbone and that's all that happened, there's no other issue, that I think I would take that just for the health of Calle Yarncroke. I know a broken collarbone sucks for everybody, but you know, those are just, to me, I'm just like, whew. Like I'm glad that, I hope he's okay in a year from now. That's the kind of thing I think about when I look at those plays.
Yeah, God, I didn't even think of it like that. I was like, I hope it's like, no, you're overreacting. He didn't break his collarbone. It hurt. It definitely hurt. You know, he went concussion spot and he sat out for the rest of the night because it is what it is, and we need him healthy for the playoffs. If we find out his collarbone's broken, like, what does that mean for this Leafs team?
That really sucks. I mean, I'm glad that we actually went out and got someone like Connor Dewar because, you know, you need guys that can play in the NHL, and Calle Yarncroke's just such a kind of consistent player to me. He's almost like, I don't want to call him average, but he's just like so consistently just slightly above average play that I just love to count on. And it sucks if he's out for a long period of time here. You know, like he's also a guy where like tonight you could throw him up on the top line. He's perfectly fine on the third line. If you need him to play on the power play, you can. He's on the PK. If you need him to play defense, he can do that. Like, awful guy to lose. He's our Flex Seal. You know, the Kerfoot replacement.
He's definitely versatile. Definitely, he's a Kerfoot replacement. But I feel like there is a lot of guys who could do that job of being versatile, that aren't given that opportunity necessarily. Where Calle Yarncroke, when he was put in with Matthews or in the top 6, he scored 20 goals last year. Like he does, so when he finds a role and he can settle into that role of shooting the puck, he can score. This year he's got like 10, so like not the same guy. But you know, Calle Yarncroke,
he hasn't had any spots on the top line.
He can be better in his right role. I just think that like he's great and he's versatile, but it's kind of like the same thing as Kerfoot. Like you're going to use him in everything. You're not going to get the best of him ever. You're going to kind of get the mid of him everywhere because that's what you do. If you let him settle into that role, like he had a kind of extended stretch. There's a period last year where Matthews was like, I love playing with Yarncroke. And after that, I think he started settling in. He started scoring goals. He ended up with 20 goals on the season. So like I think in that role that he would succeed more than he is now. But yeah, I like him as a player. Do I think he could be replaced by Dewar though? I don't know. Maybe Holmberg. I'd like to see Holmberg step in and take that. I'm not sure Dewar is
I just
the guy.
mean you have another NHL guy who steps into the lineup at all, you know, versus
we still got, Nick Robertson.
Forcing,
are you hating on Nick Robertson right now?
I'm hating on Nick Robertson. Yeah, that guy's not in my lineup. No.
Oh no, fuck. We need that guy in the lineup. He needs to figure out how to score some goals here. He's going to score a massive playoff goal for us.
He's like the anti-playoff player.
No, he's going to score a huge playoff goal. You just wait.
I'll put money on it. We'll figure out a bet for that one.
Yeah.
We can embarrass ourselves about. But
$1 million.
Okay, no. I can't pay that.
Yeah. Well, I think Nick Robertson's going to get a shot in here. I think Noah Gregor's time has come to an end.
Did he get benched because of his comments in the media? I'm throwing something weird at you, but like Nick Robertson comes out and he said he's not extremely happy with being sent down, and then like he was in the lineup replacing Bobby McMahon. Everyone's tweeting about it, and then he's not in the lineup anymore. I was like, oh.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the whole trade deadline. He was benched before that. Maybe it's extended his time. I think it's all just part of the plan. I don't think they're shooting themselves in the foot here or anything. So I think like if they want him, if they need him, if they think he's usable for the playoffs, he'll be back in, the next few games. But they did need to send somebody down. Somebody had to go to get all these, left-handed defensemen in the lineup.
Yeah, I 100%. He needed to be sent down. I just think that he's talking in the media about it, and I just feel like if it was a player that didn't have as much hype would just be like, yeah, I don't know, it's part of my contract. I guess I'm right back. Like, it was only for a day, but he's like, oh yeah, it sucks. It's
Listen to me.
Come on, man.
Michael's on my side. He's on the Robertson goal in the playoffs. He knows it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Why? Because weird fucking shit happens in the playoffs. That's why. Because Nick Robertson's going to score a massive goal. Bobby McMahon's going to score the first goal of the playoffs or something stupid like that.
I'll get on board with that one. Bobby McMahon's going to score multiple big goals in the playoffs. Robertson, I think you're not even going to be able to notice him, and when you do, it's not going to be for a good reason. So I don't think he's in the lineup. Who do you take out? Like, I guess it helps his case that Robertson.
Yarncroke with a broken collarbone, and Gregor's not playing on this team anymore. And
but like if Holmberg is now like your replacement for Yarncroke, so I'm not putting Robertson on the fourth line. That's not a spot he's going to be successful. And I like the third line currently, so like you're not going there, and you're not replacing Bobby McMahon on this lineup. That's just the worst idea. So I just don't. I'm not hating on him as a player. I kind of am, I guess, but I just feel like I just don't think that he fits in the playoffs on this team with the players that we have, unless things change. But you never know.
I get that. So can I ask you really quick? What do you feel about the Bobby McMahon contract? 2 years, 1.35 per. What do you think about that deal? Is that good for both sides? Good for Bobby? Good for the team? What do you think about that?
My first thought was just like, it seems too good for the team because but then when I thought about it, like this guy was making a really nice salary at about $80,000 a year to play hockey. And he gets to just sign on the dotted line, and he's guaranteed to have $2.7 million is just
33% or 35% of that anyways.
Right. I feel like he's gonna play though. It's a contract that I think he'll play well up into this team. We're gonna need guys like him next year for when it's such a salary cap crunch. So yeah. But at the same time, he could have waited and gotten much more. There's somewhere that would have paid him more. There's no doubt about it. I've seen too many guys come through Toronto and get paid too much.
Nick Kiprios there, ACP.
I don't know.
Yeah, am I? He's dying that McMahon's going to get 2.5. Just dying. Yeah, well, maybe, possibly, but he likes it here. Toronto's great. Toronto's his home. He's 27 years old. Where is he? He's already earned the faith of the coach here. He's already earned a spot. He's earned the love of the fans. He's got to go somewhere else and do that all over again and move and they're gonna. He's gonna end up with at least 700 and some K a year after taxes and then whatever fees. He's gonna make him bank. Yeah, sure. I'll hang out in Toronto for a couple of years. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's more about the timing to me. It's not necessarily about the where. It's just he had to wait until the summer to get however much more money versus today he gets to guarantee that money. So I think
I just think he likes
to me
it
that
here.
weighed more.
I just think he likes it here, and I don't think it mattered for him. Right? You think he's like, they're going to lowball me now or they're going to lowball me in the summer, but I want to stay here, so I might as well sign my deal now and have the weight of that off, right? Because what if they decide to go a different direction in the summer because my agent's kind of a dickhead trying to get the best for me? Who knows?
It's not about the Leafs going a different direction. I just feel like he'd be probably happy in Carolina or Calgary or Edmonton.
Maybe, but that's what I'm saying. He must like it in Toronto.
Maybe.
He loves it in Toronto. He loves the guys here. He loves the city. We love Bobby.
That'd be cool. I would love that if that was the answer, because that hasn't been the case for so long, where people have been, choosing not to be here because of the city and the media attention and everything. So yeah, if more guys are kind of getting on board with this team and the atmosphere and everything, and I mean, they bring so much more behind the scenes than other teams do, that yeah, I think there are benefits, but it would be cool if that was kind of his reasoning.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, you got anything else left on this game, CP?
A little bit, but nothing really worth getting into. We covered it minorly. So, oh yeah, Marner. So Marner's got the high ankle sprain.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, we didn't really talk about that. We all know about that. Marner's going to be out for a little while here. We don't know how long, but it's not serious.
Yeah, mild. I was like, I've never heard of a mild high ankle sprain in my life. Like you never know until they're healed. Like either you're healed in like a few weeks or like a few months. And so and you don't know until you're healed, because they're just such a weird thing. So as soon as I heard that, I was just like we kind of knew what it was. Like it was either something in his ankle, knee, just based on how he went down. But I was just like, oh God, I just hate when I hear high ankle sprain. It's the worst injury to me.
Do you anticipate him out for the rest of the season?
I'm worried now. I wasn't worried yesterday until they kind of said high ankle sprain, and now I'm kind of worried. I think the lineups that we were seeing tonight, it's not necessarily just for a week or two. This might be getting close to the end, and we're trying to ramp Marner up to playoffs versus trying to cool him down from trying to score 100 points, which maybe can be beneficial for him. It's a different look at getting ready for playoffs. But yeah, I'm kind of worried. I hope we get him back soon though. But yeah. High ankle sprains are the worst, though. You just never know. It's the hardest to put a timeline on.
Yeah, that scares me. I never really thought about. We got 4 weeks until the Stanley Cup playoffs. First round starts, I think, the 20th of April, 4/20. That'll be great. But we got Marner now hurt, and the lines are all fucked up, as I was saying earlier. And now Marner's not going to be up to game speed if he's hurt for so long. Or does he come back early, try to get up to game speed, and not be 100%? It's going to be, when does he come back? Do you go to the playoffs on a high ankle sprain at 80%? Leon Draisaitl was a broken ankle or something. Val had a broken foot or something when he played for the Avalanche, won their cup win. But, I mean, what do you do at that point? What are we going to get from Marner? Because he already doesn't play well in these types of games. Yeah,
I know. That's actually is kind of scary, that part of it. But, it's one of the injuries where he could probably he's going to play on 50%. You can't a skate is kind
50%.
Of yeah.
You think he'll come back at 50%?
If it comes to game one of the playoffs, then yeah, he will. It's lucky that it's something in your foot and you happen to lace up a cast every time you go on the ice, and you just hope that it's covering the tendon that is affected. But yeah, I think it's one of those where if the playoffs were tomorrow, I think Marner would probably be playing. But they're not, and so you try and get him as healthy as possible. It just worries me that I don't want Marner even at 90%. I want him at 110%. So yeah, that's where if he's at 70, I'm not necessarily happy, but I bet you he's out there on the ice.
Yep. Okay, so we got a couple more comments here from Michael. Did Sammy get an assist tonight? Yes, he did get an assist tonight. Yeah. We love that guy. Contributions all around. And then
those should count in fantasy.
Matthew Nyes. What do you feel about his rookie season this year? He says, who hasn't scored 20 goals playing with Matthews, in relation to our Yarncroke comments earlier. But how do you feel about Nyes and his rookie season this year? Do you think it's been successful, unsuccessful, so-so?
I think it's been successful in terms of him being a rookie and being able to play on a first line. I think it's hard to say that that's not he's made an NHL roster and he's playing with the best players in the world. It's hard to expect him to create when he was also playing against the best players in the world. And I do like that he's been playing on the third line recently. I think that's where he should be.
Yeah. Not deferring, holding the puck a little more. Yeah, being the guy. He should be the guy. He's been the guy.
Yeah. Bertuzzi should have been the first line left winger from the get-go. So it was weird that they just let go of that and stuck to the Nyes thing for so long. Because he kind of has been what he's been for a while now. I don't expect a ton from Nyes. I just want him to be what he
slow? Is Nyes slow, or my eyes deceive me? Was he faster at the beginning of the year or last year in the playoffs? Did he have more jump before? Because he seems slow.
I think he's fast. He's not quick.
He's not quick.
Yeah, he has trouble
Big
once
guy.
he comes to a stop to get going again, but he's not like kind of Matthews, where like despite his size can really kind of move around and go from nothing to going. So yeah, he lacks in that department a bit. As a forechecker, like you want them in there quick, so it's not as much about like being agile. Like for penalty killing, that's where that comes in handy the most. But yeah, he's just, I don't know. Like I think there was just a lot of expectation put on this guy to be like a 25, 30 goal scorer. And it's like, well, he's doing fine as a first line center. He's not the best we could get, and he is probably better on the third line. So I think it's been successful. It's just, he's not getting rookie of the year. It's just, yeah.
No. All right. Well, so yeah, one last thought. There was Dewar tonight made a play. He shot a puck in front of the net, and it seemed a little bit different than the Leafs style of play. And I think acquisitions like Joel Edmondson, who has never played for the Leafs or in that kind of style, and Connor Dewar, who's played for the Minnesota Wild, who does not play like the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that could be very beneficial, having a couple of guys who see the game a little bit differently. Going into the playoffs here, just having that, different outlook, not the same group of guys. And I mean, Max Domi's one of them. Tyler Bertuzzi's a different one. I can't wait for Tyler Bertuzzi breakout again in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. I like Connor Dewar. I think he's like a new and young David Kampf. Just kind of does the thing, and he might have just like a little bit more offensive touch. So I think he fits a fourth line center perfectly, But
yeah, absolutely. And he's fast. He's got go. That's what made me think of that. That man's got some speeds to him.
Yeah.
So anyways, Leafs play Hurricanes at home on Saturday. Like you said earlier, the Canes loaded up. They now have Jake Gensel, they have Evgeny Kuznetsov. They get anybody else at the trade deadline? I can't think of that off the top of my head. But what do you think about that matchup for Saturday?
It's gonna be tough. That tonight was good to look good against the Flyers, but Saturday's about the win. If you can squeak one out that's 4-3 or 3-2, that'd be awesome. I think it's a real test to see what they're made of. Also, I'm excited to see Gensel on the Canes and see how he fits in and stuff. It's weird kind of even seeing Gensel with a jersey that's not a Pittsburgh Penguins.
So if this game goes bad for Wall, what are your thoughts going to be?
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see when that comes, but I think that I don't know. It just if Sammy could get another little notch up, I think that he would get it. But I just feel like we are where we're at, and we just can hope that Wall comes back. But I think if we're talking about if he's going to look bad, I don't think he's looked bad yet. He just hasn't looked like himself and 100%. So. I don't expect him to look bad. I just hope that he kind of makes improvement on the last start. So,
yeah, me too. All right, well, we will be back after that game, but for now, that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commenting. Hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, and please rate and review the show. You can find us on X at STDP Hockey and search for Split the Defense on all other socials. Until next time. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Split the Defense,
Split the defense.
Leafs Postgame Edition. Hosted by Jordan Webster, Craig Pearce, and producer Ted Evans. Split the Defense is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas.